Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. How's everybody feeling today? It's Freedom Family Friday. Oh, yeah. Brandon Meyer, already joining us here live this morning, says he really needed his morning synthwave today. Well, you got it. We're rocking and rolling here in the mornings. Since it's Friday, we get the lovely Stephanie Peterson in studio.
Wow.
Karyush.
I feel like we just blasted off right before the show. I don't know if you all noticed that little countdown. Austin always counts down in my ear, and I'm like, okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3. It feels like New Year's.
One of the things I think people really enjoy about the Wake Up America show is how prompt we are. I mean, yesterday was the exception because the internet wasn't working.
It was because I was driving in my car trying to get here.
Thank God. No, but thank you for that. But thankfully, the internet is working today, which we are blessed.
Yes,
we are blessed.
We brought our emergency router from home just in case.
Yes, but I think people really appreciate that we actually start on time. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Sunny Bunny joining us for the first time today. What's up, Sunny? Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Good morning.
Are you in Florida or
we
something?
like to make new friends. SONNY, like the
okay.
sun, like the Son of God.
Yes.
Nice to see you here this morning. Click like and subscribe to the channel if it's your first time here. We'd love to have you come back and join us every Monday through Friday from 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time on the Wake Up America show. Let's get it going. All right, Alex Jones interviewed by Tucker Carlson last night, and well, the memes are already flying fast and furious. So Stephanie and I were enjoying listening to the clips this morning, weren't we?
Oh, I was. I'm so glad to see his face.
It's funny because Steffi is a big Alex Jones fan. So
I was. Back in 2009, 2010, I watched a lot of Alex Jones.
Well, I watched Alex Jones initially because he was, in 2008, he was the only person who was interviewing Ron Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have Ron Paul on like pretty much every day. And
That's
so
awesome.
if you wanted to get your Ron Paul fix for the day, I remember I was working in Manhattan at the time, and I would listen in with one ear because I was a telemarketer, a business to business telemarketer at the time. And I would listen in one, I would make phone calls with one ear, dial with one ear. And then the other ear, I had Alex Jones. And that was back when he had the Conan the Barbarian theme. It was the one that was dun, 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 dun. You'd get all
intro music.
Yeah, it was the Conan the Barbarian theme.
Okay, yeah, my memory's not.
It
that
may
good.
still be because I haven't listened to it in a while. But I used to get so hyped up. I could get so excited because Ron Paul would be on, but then it would be like. I was also very paranoid too because I was like, at any point in time, the FBI is going to kick my door down. I just know it. We all thought we were going to get raided. Yes. They were going to steal our gold.
Yes.
We were buying gold like crazy. That's when you bought your gold, right?
I bought my gold at 2 different times, but yes, in particular, I believe 2011, 2012, I literally ran to the gold store and I was like, it's collapsing now. I mean, like Ron Paul would be like, we have barely any time left. You got to go.
You got to buy our gold.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's what we should do for our Lair Capital ads, stuff like that.
Just be like, the dollar is collapsing today.
Today.
We know it is. We have the proof.
So visit Lair Capital, LairAustin.com. We will be talking about our sponsor a little bit later, but don't worry, we're not going to scare the crap out of you this morning, although it might be more effective. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we're right.
We're going to talk.
Never know.
We're going to talk. It's a good idea to have gold no matter what. We're going to talk about the Alex Jones Tucker Carlson interview. We got some of the highlights. I think the key factor, the one thing that really stood out to me was the revelation that Joe Biden wanders around the White House naked.
I thought that was kind of interesting myself.
That's funny. So we're going to talk about that this morning. I'm going to play some of the clips. And boy, Vivek Ramaswamy just continues to impress, doesn't he?
Oh, I love him. I've always loved him ever since he started rapping and playing tennis. He was always my favorite.
When he
I
did
called it.
At the Iowa State Fair when he did the Eminem song, and it was,
Yep, that's when I knew he was my candidate.
Yeah, we're gonna play some more Vivek Ramaswamy clips, including his deputy press secretary who kicked ass yesterday.
Damn.
Oh, dude, he laid some smackdown on this mainstream media news lady who tried to nail him in a corner. And we've got a good clip for everybody today. You're gonna want to stick around.
Women getting their panties in a bunch. It's so fun.
I love when women get their panties in a bunch too.
Only in a different way.
For sure. Brandon Meyer said he didn't stock up on gold, but he stocked up on Goldschlager. Does that work?
What in the world is that?
She doesn't know what Goldschlager is, guys.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not beer. Goldschlager is like a cinnamon whiskey.
Really?
It's kind of like it's like Fireball. It's like clear, but it has flakes of gold in it.
Oh, No, we were watching, what was it in Japan? They were eating gold ice cream. There's a part of Japan that serves gold on everything.
Yeah,
gold on your sushi.
Gold ice cream, gold sushi. It's all gold. You can't taste it, but it's just like gold. For some reason, they put gold on everything.
I mean, how much value would you have to pick out every little piece of gold inside of that bottle of whiskey?
No, you just drink it. You just drink the whiskey.
And then I guess they'd have to cut you open to get the value.
You just poop it out. I don't know why anybody would want to eat heavy metals, but there it is. Anyways, so Brandon Meyer says almost as many flakes comes off his scalp.
You need some head and shoulders, my friend.
He does. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. We've got a lot of great clips for you today. We've got an awesome show. You don't want to miss a single minute. Make sure that you click like and subscribe, but also don't forget to the text line. We'd love to hear from our listeners night or day at 573-319-1586.
Finally have that number memorized.
Let's hear it. What is it?
573-319-1586.
That's right. Yeah. Stephanie, well done.
Yeah. It just it has to roll off the tongue. You have to just let it go.
That's right. That's right. So we've got a lot of great content today for you. We've got awesome guests. It's just me and Stephanie.
We're just the best.
We're the best guests at, let's see, it's
self-nominated.
7:51. I've got a story from a former FBI agent who explains how to recognize the power dynamics in a room. Paying attention to the narrative, spoken and unspoken, can provide information that gives you an advantage in negotiations, interviews, and other critical communications, right? So
it's pretty helpful. I definitely would say I am not the most powerful person in the room most of the time.
But here's the thing. In order to understand power dynamics, it's the step towards taking some power for yourself.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk
knowledge is power, as I always tell my clients.
There's a difference between, and this is kind of the thrust of this piece, the difference between forensic listening, which is different from active listening, right? So there's forensic listening and there's active listening. So we're going to talk about that this morning around 7:51. At 8 o'clock Central today, we're going to talk about emotional cheating, right? Yes. Dear Abby, my boyfriend is emotionally cheating on me with another woman.
Hated Abby's response. I thought it was weird.
It'll be interesting. We talk about relationship stuff typically on Friday because this is my lovely smoking hot redheaded libertarian wife.
Yeah.
And she likes the relationship stuff, although she does like some politics too.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just a well-rounded woman in general.
Right. She is very well-rounded, if you know what I mean.
In a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways. Old-fashioned relationship habits that we need to bring back. I've got a list of old-fashioned relationship habits that we need to bring back. 11. So we're going to talk about those. And then hopefully we'll have time before the end of the show today. Question, when you go to somebody's house for like a holiday party, because I know we've got a lot of like Christmas parties coming up, do you take your shoes off when you go inside?
Am I supposed to answer now?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. But we will talk about that.
what my mother would say.
Hopefully we'll get to that by the end of the show today. Do you take your shoes off when you go inside of somebody else's house?
I know in Japan they do.
Yeah, for sure. Apparently there was a Sex and the City episode about this where Carrie Bradshaw walked into the party for like a baby shower and was told she had to take off her $500 shoes. And they got stolen. And so, yes, at least that's what I thought. I haven't watched Sex and the City.
That would be like the last thing I would think of when someone's like, take off your shoes. I guess I've never been worried they'd get stolen before.
My thought was that, and I had to read it because I didn't watch the show, but my thought was that you'd want to show off your shoes. You don't want to take your shoes off because you're proud of your shoes. But anyways, we'll talk about that at the end of the show today. If we have time, let's go ahead and start the reaction part of the show today, which would happen if I had properly set up the clips.
I just want to say happy Hanukkah to all of our Jewish friends and family members.
Well, we're not allowed to celebrate Hanukkah this year, Stephanie, because it might be considered to be Islamophobic.
That's right.
So we don't want to celebrate.
Yes. So you can cover your ears, but Austin and I, we lit the menorah with my mom and sister and niece and nephew last night.
What's the prayer? What's the prayer?
Webcam.
Barakatah Adonai Eloheinu.
Eloheinu melech halom asher kedishanu b'mitzvotah v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Hanukkah. And then there's like, we say 3 prayers on the very first night, and goodness, I don't have all those memorized.
It's okay. We've got the Alex Jones clips ready to play. Let's take a listen and react.
My grief is this is really draconian. This globalist, Great Reset, New World Order takeover is a post-industrial world, cut off the resources, 90% forced depopulation, breaking civilization by design, massive wars, famine. They've already cut off a third of the fertilizer in the last year worldwide. It's estimated that'll kill a couple 100 million people. The lockdowns worldwide, not the virus, the UN admits killed 80-something million extra people in the last 3.5 years. And so when the first world collapses, the third world dies. And then what's left of them floods us. And so the earth is being put into a countdown collapse right now. And so I'm like the fisherman when the tidal wave comes in, and I'm like, oh my God, my wife and children are about to die. And so I'm not really worried about me because I'm a man. I did this. I knew it was coming. I've been proven right. And I'm not happy I was proven right. I wish we could have gotten ahead of this and stopped it. Yeah, we have a lot of credibility now that people see that we were right, so maybe we can stop the next phase of it. But the globalists have gone from testing phase, beta test phase, into full operational now. And they say, read their writings, we are going to have a post-industrial world by 2030. We will have no personal cars by 2030. You will be eating bugs by 2030.
Okay, pause. There's a lot of claims there, right there. So
I used to believe all this too.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I think they do want us to eat bugs, and
eat the bugs, live in the pods,
eat the bugs, live in the pods.
But it's like, wouldn't you think they would like start to slowly introduce bugs to our
They
diet?
are. Well, they are.
We're not eating them yet.
Yes, we are actually.
Like, what restaurant serves those?
I can't believe that I'm the skeptic is introducing the conspiracy theorist to the reality. Yeah. So
where are the bugs?
Tyson Foods. They're starting to include it as part of our. Like the foods that you buy. So
like the chicken tenders?
Yeah. So I didn't know you were going to ask this. Yes. I did not know you were going to ask this question, or I would have been prepared.
Bugs in them?
Yes. Bugs in food.
No wonder I like chicken tenders so much.
Everyday items made with insects. Pantry pest. Foods you didn't know are made of insects.
Okay. This sounds so weird that they're like slowly, secretly, or no, they're not secretly. They're intentionally doing this and telling us they're doing this.
Yes. So edible insects in Europe, a growing push for bug-based food. Somebody who could help me with this because oh, here we go. 1 month ago, Fox News. Tyson Foods investing big in bug protein for new venture. The first bug protein facility of its kind will be used to make food for pets, fish, and livestock, they say.
Oh, not people.
No, they are going to start introducing it to people as well. In Europe, a growing push for bug-based food to rein in emissions. This is from Yale.
Oh.
Yale University.
Yeah.
The EU is looking to insects as an alternative source of protein for livestock and people, and they're easing regulations and subsidizing makers of insect-derived food. So there's an emerging bug food industry in northern Italy, and where they're harvesting bugs like mealworms and crickets.
I've heard worms are kind of okay, and cricket, you know, all the chocolate-covered varieties.
They eat them in like Malaysia and the Philippines and things like
Fear
that.
Factor, like that.
Yeah, and then on Fear Factor, exactly. I think if I want to buy chicken from the store, I'd like to have. I mean, I guess you should know if you're eating chicken nuggets that like
at the different fast food stores, they're like 100% real beef.
Right.
So they're gonna be like 100, or no, they'll be like 80% real beef and 20% cockroach.
But like part of me, like obviously, I think bugs are like obviously that seems disgusting to me, right? Like, listen, you know, you want to eat bugs, right? I think the reason people eat bugs is because they don't have the alternative. Like, if you're in the Philippines or in Malaysia or whatever, you're eating bugs because you can't get a nice big juicy steak, right?
There's so many bugs to go around, so I get it. And when I was a vegetarian, honestly, I always said the first thing that I would eat before the furry animals was bugs because I felt the least bad about bugs. I felt the least bad about killing them because they like don't feel as much pain.
I know some like post-vegetarians that have become pescatarians, right, where they eat fish. But they say there are some like articles that I've read about people who eat only bivalves, which is like clams.
Because they don't feel
scallops.
Pain?
Yes, because they don't have any kind of like a pain sensor.
I'd be into that.
Yeah. Have you've tried scallops when I've fed them? I think I've given you scallops.
I think so.
I was going to surprise you and take you to the Japanese restaurant this weekend to
so sweet.
To the what's it called? The Sakura. Yes. And I was thinking we should go because we were watching that there was some show yesterday where we saw them doing the hibachi. And I always get the always get the steak and scallops. I'm such a not cheap date. You're a cheap date, and I'm not. I'm the opposite.
I get like the chicken fingers and fries, and you're like, I want the filet mignon.
I want the filet mignon, and I want the steak and scallops. But the scallops, scallops are just frigging delicious. But then it's funny because here's the thing: we get all mad about eating bugs, right? We're like, the elites want us to eat some bugs and then it's a pod. But then we have no problem eating water-based arthropods.
I know. That's all what you get used to.
Crabs, lobsters, right? Like, so like water-based, they're not like insects in the same way, but like they're arthropods.
I think it's because we're just disgusted by bugs. Bugs have a bad stigma. We're like, ew, gross, dirty.
Yes. Floby Tenderson said, I'm okay if my food eats bugs. So that's why, like, have you ever eaten duck?
No.
So duck is typically very greasy, and that's because they eat a lot of insects, right? So it's insect-based diet. But I mean, a lot of people who do free-range chickens, like their chickens eat a lot of.
Oh, absolutely. They eat a lot of worms.
They eat a lot of worms.
Bugs in the garden.
Bugs in the
That's
garden,
why
things
really
like that. Yep, for sure. Andy Opperman says water bugs are delicious. Yes, maybe we'll see you tonight at Sakura, Andy Opperman. All right, so let's continue. We're talking about the Alex Jones Tucker Carlson interview. We talk about the bugs. All right, let's continue.
And we will start the depopulation of 90% of the people by 2045. That is the official WF, official UN, official Club of Rome plan.
What do you mean the depopulation?
They want to bring the world population down to 500 million.
But I thought we were opposed to genocide. No or no? I guess we're not.
Well, we're told now, don't have children, it's bad for the earth. And we're told all this, and Elon Musk is right and is a hero for pointing out all the actuaries show, if you don't have 2.1 children, a man and a woman, people go, well, a man and a woman can have 2.1. It's in the aggregate, folks, out of billions. If a country doesn't have 2.1, 2.2 replacement rate, then you don't have people to take care of the old folks, society collapses. And so Japan's 1.3, Italy's 1.3, they're done as cultures. America, without immigrant influx, is about 1.6. That's not viable. And I'm not just talking about white people only here, but white people are 7% of the world population, maybe 8. And so I would be sad if the last of the Eskimos were.
Like, isn't that funny? Because you always, the way we kind of like were raised is to think, oh, because we live in a majority white nation.
Yeah,
you sort of feel
majority.
Yeah, but we're not. In terms of the world population, we're not.
That's so weird.
Right? And we're going to get into this clip that I've got of Vivek Ramaswamy where he talks about the white supremacist conspiracy theory.
Replacement theory.
Which today was your first time you've ever heard of this, isn't it?
I started researching it.
Yes. So we've actually got that clip. We're going to talk about that after the Alex Jones interview.
I didn't know the Jews were part of this.
The Jews are part of everything. The Jews are part of every conspiracy, right? Yes. I mean, just think about it. You're pulling the strings. Without Stephanie, there would be no Wake Up America show. Right. So it's
exactly. I'm the one that brought the router because I'm Jewish.
Exactly. See, the Jews control everything. Yeah. Even the Wake Up America show. COVID was a stab at depopulation.
Well, the other thing that's shocking to me about what he said was in 2030, we will no longer have personal vehicles. We won't be driving cars anymore.
Well, I mean, it's a prediction. I don't know. Probably not by that date.
It's going to be 2024. 6 more years, and we're not going to drive cars.
Well, here's what I think is going to happen. Probably not by that date. And Elon Musk has talked about this before too. Actually, I think that once self-driving cars are perfected, and Elon Musk has even said this, that they're going to make it illegal to drive.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because they're going to say it's for safety.
You're only safe if a robot is driving your car.
Yeah. Well, think about it now. Let's try and be logical about this. Yeah. Obviously, we don't think it should be illegal to drive, you and I, right? But let's entertain a thought without necessarily accepting it here. Robot drivers are likely to be safer drivers than people who are on their phone texting all the time.
Yeah, that's
people who are drunk driving, people who are 90 years old, right? People who are 16 years old and things like that. Think about how terrible the drivers are right now, right?
I know. I just feel like normal people or smart drivers like us are going to be punished because of the people that are irresponsible, and that's not fair.
You're
I
right.
feel like robots are faulty, just like a computer sometimes gives you the blue screen of death.
Right.
Like, what happens if you get that while you're on the road?
Yes, you're correct. Well, and even worse is that what's happening right now, and I talked about this, I think, with Hannah Cox. I'm not entirely sure, as she's certainly been on the forefront of fighting the kill switch that they want to put in our vehicles. Have you heard about this?
Where it'll turn off in an emergency, or when will it exactly turn off?
Well, that too. But I mean, the government wants the ability to turn off all of our vehicles, right?
So just all of a sudden, it'll just like come to a complete stop.
Mandatory kill switches. And it's ostensibly for safety. Of course, that's how they pitch everything, right? Safety, safety, safety.
Right.
But and then the car industry, or at least the repo industry, they like it because if you don't make your car payment, they can just turn off your car. And some of them can already do this.
Yeah.
Where they can deactivate your car remotely.
Imagine the accidents that would happen if your car just stopped in the middle of the road.
Yeah, and our buddy East Coast Toasty Boy, who it's his first time on the show, we always like to applaud our new friends.
Yeah.
He says, with guns, with hacks, it's the fear that it might be hacked.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I could see Russia intelligence trying to hack into our computer system, stopping all of our cars.
Yeah, think about it. You want to commit a political assassination, for example, hack into their vehicle and make it drive off a cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stuff like that is
the precedent. I would not want to be in a self-driving vehicle or a robot-driven vehicle.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But they don't want it for themselves, but they want it for the rest of us, right? Again, so
not for me, but for thee.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we've got more Alex Jones clips. Let's continue on with the interview.
I want to meet his wife and children.
Alex Jones is.
Really interesting.
I think he got divorced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was like a pretty nasty public divorce. Anyways, let's continue.
What's interesting?
Oh, this was funny. This is just a funny clip because you know who Brian Stelter is from CNN? He was like the bald fat guy. Let me show you. Let me pull up a picture of him for you, Stephanie, and the audience can see him too. Brian Stelter.
Yeah, I usually remember faces.
So he had a show canceled on CNN last year. Have you ever seen this guy?
I don't remember him.
Big,
no, he kind of looks like that guy that stole all of the clothes out of the luggage.
Okay. Sam Brinton.
Yes.
This is why I love my wife. I have the best wife in the world, folks. Alex Jones apparently and Tucker Carlson had dinner together last night. In a barn. In a barn, yeah.
That
Because Tucker lives like out in the woods in Maine.
Yeah, eating bugs.
No, not eating bugs. They're probably eating delicious steak and drinking whiskey. But Alex Jones apparently drunk dialed Brian Stelter from CNN, and this was what happened.
Oh my God.
This is some funny stuff.
What's interesting is, and I mean, I don't know if you want me to reveal this, but we had dinner in our barn last night, and there were some drinks. And after dinner, you and my producer called Stelter on the phone. And what was and it was on speaker, so I listened to it. What was so interesting was, you've been very clear in a very direct, pretty masculine way, I would say, about how you feel about Brian Stelter. There's not a lot of confusion about your views on Stelter after clips like that, which doubtless he's seen because he Googles himself compulsively. He was very kind of syrupy sweet with you.
And that's why I was sarcastic and told him I want to date him.
You did.
Oh, wow.
In fact, the exact line that you had was, Brian, I'm not usually gay, but I want you.
Yeah.
And he seemed a little bit,
I'm not
saying he's open to
it. Gay. That's what's happening.
I don't know what they're putting in Alex Jones whiskey that's turning the freaking conspiracy theorist gay.
Hey, man, the frog.
Yeah. Our friend East Coast Toasty Boy apparently found us from the John Burke interviews. So
that's cool. Yeah, cool. Hey, yeah, we love John Burke. He's a good friend.
We do. Welcome. We're glad to have you guys here. We're having a lot of fun. All right, so let's continue this. They prank called Brian Stelter.
Whatever, but he wasn't shocked by it.
And he's like, "Give me your phone number. I want to talk to you."
Yeah.
And then he hit your producer up. "Please give me his number right now. Let's
that was interesting.
But I was being silly with him. But there was also a line. He goes, "Oh, Alex Jones." I said, "I want you to come on my show." And he said, "Oh, you still got a show?" And I went, "No, you're the one that doesn't have a show."
Bro.
That was a low blow there.
Well, because Brian Stelter got his show canceled, I think, like just this year. I'm pretty sure.
Ouch. Anyways, too soon.
Oh, yeah. So, that was a really good one. All right. This next one is them going after the White House press secretary.
I'd like to be drunk dialed by Alex Jones.
That'd be funny.
I would enjoy that conversation. I've always wanted to meet Alex Jones at Pokey Joe's in Texas and tell the waitress not to bring me any water.
Right, because the
That's what
fluoride.
he used to do. He used to go to Pokey Joe's and warn everybody about the water. Yeah.
He must have eaten the frogs, says Sign of Jonah. Bitchmobile says, "Don't eat gay food." Yes, we will try to avoid the gay food.
Seriously, because of him. Well, I should not be drinking just purified water. I've always drank spring water. Because of him, I drank distilled water for years and years because I was so afraid of tap water, the fluoride. So he has really impacted my brain.
Signs of Jonah says, Stelter is used to low blows.
Oh, is he gay?
I mean, he's got to be, right?
Oh, okay.
Anyways, how dare you?
That makes sense.
All right, hold on. Next clip is this. This is them going after the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre.
You look at the White House press secretary, who can barely speak English, who's one of the stupidest people I've ever seen, and a transparent liar. You wouldn't hire her to run your copy machine. She's the White House press secretary. Why would you do that? And it's not because of her race or who she sleeps with. I think the whole point is she's so obviously repulsive that it makes you feel bad about the country to see her.
Oh, jeez. I mean, they're not pulling any punches on this interview here, but you love to see it.
Alex Jones will always give you his honest opinion.
So this next clip that I have, this is actually from the White House, talking about the Pentagon spokesman talking about the conflict in Ukraine. So Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones have been talking about this, that apparently the Pentagon is threatening the United States that if we do not send them more money, because I think the most recent appropriations package to Ukraine got held up because more and more people are starting to get skeptical about how much money we're sending into this conflict.
Right.
This idea that apparently American blood is going to start being spilt, that if we don't send our money, we're going to have to send our troops.
Ukraine saying this?
This is us saying this, apparently. Take a listen to this.
Ourselves?
Take a listen. This is a White House press secretary, defense, the Pentagon spokesperson for them. Take a listen.
And so we can't support Ukraine. Their chief advisor yesterday said they're likely to lose this war if they lose U.S. support. And Putin gets all of Ukraine, then what? Then where does he go? Because right then, he's up against the eastern flank of NATO. And if you think the cost of supporting Ukraine is high now, just imagine how much higher it's going to be, not just in national treasure, but in American blood, if he starts going after one of our NATO allies. Because as the president also said, we take our Article 5 commitments very seriously. And so we can't support Ukraine.
You get that?
So he's saying if Russia goes after one of our NATO allies, then obviously we're going to have to enter in as an ally.
Right.
And then bloodshed will happen.
Right.
So they're not just going to start killing us. It's if one of our allies.
Well,
goes
they
in.
believe that, if it gets to, so they're trying to terrify us into sending more money to Ukraine, and they want to apparently threaten us with that. If we don't send them money, we're going to send American troops.
Right.
Yeah. So, just ridiculous, elitist. Watch my language here. I don't want to get too fired up in the mornings.
Globalists.
The globalists.
BS.
The GD globalists. The damn globalists.
Yeah, those Bilderberg meetings.
They finally admit it, says East Coast Toasty Boy. Yes, we've known this for a while.
Illuminati.
We've known this for a while. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, good morning. I'm your host, Austin Peterson. We're glad and grateful to have you here, all 165 of you guys. How are you feeling today?
Hi.
Freedom Family Friday. Means that my lovely wife, Stephanie Peterson, is joining us live on the show. Stephanie, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great.
We want people to like and subscribe, don't we?
We sure do.
And the hope that they come back and join us every Monday through Friday from 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time here on the show. The Wake Up America show streams live, and Fridays is when my smoking hot redheaded libertarian wife joins us, and we always have a lot of fun. Today we're talking about the Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson interview. I've also got some Vivek Ramaswamy clips coming up here pretty soon.
I really hope we can see more of Alex Jones. I mean, it's kind of sad that he's been taken off of most websites online, except his own, obviously.
Yeah,
you know, miss his face.
He's essentially been bankrupted because of the lawsuits against him from the Newton, Connecticut
Right. When he basically was saying it was a fake shooting, right?
Yeah, that like the kids, it was like crisis actors, and the kids didn't really die.
That's right.
And
That's
so he
right.
got sued by the parents and won. The parents won, and it was like $1 billion judgment against
So
him
he's
for like a
always going
settlement.
to be paying it off. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you think, right? So I mean, he's always going to try and appeal and try and find some way to work around it, but it's, it doesn't look good. So the way the bankruptcy works now is you're allowed to continue to operate because they want you to keep paying.
Right.
So he's still allowed to operate his show and do everything. He's got to be a lot more careful. He's said, and I thought I had this clip from the interview where he talks about Elon Musk not letting him back on in terms of like why he's not back on the platform.
Yeah, he has a lot of respect for Elon Musk, and he understands
why he won't let him back
what the
on.
responsibilities of Elon are, and what he's up against.
I think this is the clip, but hold on, let me just play it, and we'll react.
I was taken off Twitter not for the Sandy Hook stuff that came later that they focused on. Look it up. They had the former head of Twitter and the lawyer on Joe Rogan about 4 years ago. And Joe said, "Why did you ban Alex Jones?" The lawyer goes, "Okay, let me open my clipboard." She goes, "Here's why. He was mean to Oliver Darcy." So I'm at the Capitol. They're having censorship hearings. Sundar Pichai's there. I just confronted him in the hall.
Who runs Google.
And you guys are welcome to use that if you want. And then that was at the Senate. So now they were going over to a House meeting, and there's Oliver Darcy in the line. He gets to get in. I don't even get into a hearing where they then attacked me. They'd attacked me at the last hearing, but I don't get to face my accuser. And so I get in his face. I don't threaten him, but I say, "You are an evil man. You're un-American, coming after my free speech, harassing my sponsors, trying to get me off the internet." And the last place I was on was Twitter. They'd held out. And so Jack Dorsey had held out. And so Jack Dorsey admitted, well, the last straw was I bullied Oliver Darcy. And so that's why I was deplatformed. Elon Musk thinks it was the Sandy Hook thing. And notice.
Do you know that in most cultures, bullying Oliver Darcy would be like a rite of passage? Like you couldn't, like that would be a positive good, right?
No, this Oliver Darcy man.
He's literally on Twitter, taking my sponsors, calling for me to be silenced. So he's been attacking me, attacking my speech and my living. And then all I do is shove a camera in his face while he's waiting to go into the hearing for 5 minutes and say, "Man, you are un-American. You got some evil eyes." And I said, "You really look like a piece of slime." I mean, I told him that. And,
fair.
And so the point is, he's a man. He's a, quote, journalist in the arena. He goes around harassing people and stalking them financially and their free speech. He'd already bragged that he'd gotten me taken off all this other stuff and that he was instrumental, which he was. And then he can't take me saying, "Man, you're a jerk."
Yes, that wasn't the clip where he talks about why Elon Musk has not let him back on. Man, I wish I had that one
because I remember listening.
I thought I played it, but that we had it this morning. But he says that he the reason why he thinks Elon Musk hasn't replatformed him is just because he thinks that it's going to get taken down. That Twitter, which is struggling right now, is going to essentially be taken down completely because they're already struggling with advertisers. If Alex Jones comes back on, Alex Jones isn't mad at Elon Musk for it.
He's not. He has a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, and he knows that it's a business decision more than any like thing in terms of speech. Yeah. So interesting problems to have, right? And these are the $1 billion questions about free speech, private property, and government censorship, and everything in between. These are great conversations to have.
I was just thinking about the platform that I would be most upset about being deleted.
Yes, that's a good question.
It's actually Facebook.
Oh, because okay. That's a good question.
If Facebook went away, I would forget all of the friends that I had in the past that I don't have their phone numbers. So it's like I wouldn't have any way to keep in touch with those people. I'd have to like search for them in the phone book or something, like old school. Whereas on Twitter, it's like, most everybody's anonymous anyway. So it's like, I don't know those people really. And anybody who's on Twitter, who is my friend, is usually on Facebook too. So Facebook is the one for me that I would struggle with the most if I couldn't have it.
Yeah. So like my dad's account got hacked recently, and it's terrible because that's his photo album, especially because all of his photos of his grandson, Mario, are on there, videos from holidays and things like that. It's funny because like we don't really like Facebook anymore. We don't really use it as much anymore.
Just like it for the nostalgia factor.
Yeah. We just like seeing like posts from years ago. Right. Yeah. So I would feel bad to lose it. but I also just don't use it like I use Twitter or
Oh, no.
Instagram, for example, or things like that, you know?
Right.
Anyways, I wonder which social platform you would actually feel the worst about being deplatformed from. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. You can text the show at 573-319-1586. We just jumped over 323 viewers. That's awesome.
Are we being featured right now?
Well, we're on the front page. We're not one of
cool.
the big features, but we're definitely on the front page.
Because we're talking about Alex Jones.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to hear and see this interview. That's
People
what
secretly like him.
Yeah, well, we've been playing the clips this morning and having a good conversation about it. Probably the most shocking, though, of all the clips, I think, which is the one that's probably the most relevant news, is Joe Biden, related to the claims about Joe Biden. Let's take a listen.
I don't know how Alex Jones gets this evidence.
You know what? Because people send it to him. People sometimes send me scoops and things like that. They're like, you know, some FBI whistleblower actually contacted me last week, and I'm talking to him about getting him on the show. So
juicy.
It is juicy. All right, so let's listen to this next clip. Right?
You see the system, the media going after Biden, and he deserves it, but they were covering it up until now. Now they're covering the laptop. Now they're covering attack on the dog. Now they're covering, you know, all of his senility, all the corruption, the Chinese spies.
Attacking a dog. What a pig he is. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I was told that by Secret Service and by people that, let's just say, work with them. And I'm going to leave it at that. But I actually have a contact for you. I'd like to be able to hear it from them. But when this is over, I'll let you actually hear it from yourself. I think they'll tell you off record. I think they're willing to talk to you. But yeah, he is completely out of his mind. He wanders around for the entire 2.5 years. It's getting worse. Naked in the White House. In the middle of the night, doesn't know who he is. They have to give him a bunch of drugs, a bunch of amphetamines in the morning. Then they've got to drug him at night. Sometimes he's got to, though, he'll like be out for the morning for a while, and then comes back out at night for a ball. That's when there's a real problem.
He is on drugs. I have established that, and I know someone who witnessed it. I'm not guessing at this. I know someone personally who witnessed him taking amphetamines. And this was during the 2020 election.
So how's this going to? That's huge. I know you be out for the morning for a while, and then come back out at night for a ball. That's when there's a real problem.
He is on drugs.
That's a lot to unpack there.
That is a lot to unpack there. And here's the thing. You know, obviously, I'm a very evidence-based person. I absolutely would be willing to believe this.
Especially because Tucker Carlson said, he's like, I know he has taken amphetamines.
That I think bolsters it.
He's backing up what Alex Jones is saying about the amphetamines, at least.
Yes, because when you get to that age and you've got to do what the president has to do and stay awake at all times a day, I would not be surprised. And it could be Adderall, right? It could be just heavy doses of Adderall, right? Legal amphetamine to an extent, in order to wake him up in the morning, in order to get around. But the idea that he's walking around the White House naked at night and doesn't know where he's at or where he's going, that would not shock me at all.
I mean, sundowners.
You worked at a hospital, so talk a little bit about your experience with dementia patients.
Yeah, I mean, sundowners is very common amongst older people, and so it's something about nighttime that all of a sudden old people just get really confused, and they really do start like getting naked, taking their clothes off, walking around. Like if you're at a nursing home, you'll see like the people ending up in some other person's room in the middle of the night and falling asleep in another bed that's not theirs. So it is very common to see something like this. So what is he? He's in his 80s?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure of his age.
I wouldn't be surprised about it. Because honestly, like these
81.
people that have sundowners, they're totally normal and lucid during the day. You would have no idea that they're like this. Like I saw this in my own grandmother before she passed away. Like she was totally fine during the day. But once night hit, she just started becoming very confused, repeating herself, getting upset. So it's just how it is. Something weird happens in the brain.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Joe Biden's 81 years old.
Okay.
So same age as my dad.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, dementia can set in early. I mean, you had
early.
A family member even that had early onset dementia.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it would not shock me really at all to hear that this happens to the president of the United States. But here's the thing. It's the president of the United States, Stephanie. We're talking about the man who has more power than anyone in the world. If there's a God on this planet, it's the president of the United States with the power to end all life on this planet as we know it. And it's a dementia patient. I mean, that's scary. That's scary. And to think that the Americans might be willing to reelect him next year. I mean, who's the real dementia patient, right? The American people that would elect him?
Here's the skeptic side of me is I was thinking after I saw that Biden Christmas tree photo of him up on the ladder, like decorating his Christmas tree, he looked really good. And I was like, you know what? I wonder if the news is just putting out all this propaganda, making him look weak, making him look sickly and demented. But really, he is okay. Could that also be the case?
That could be part of it. Like he could be like crazy, like a fox in some ways. I think he probably is struggling with mental issues, but he probably knows this, and he probably plays it up in order to be underestimated because that is a legitimate strategy. And we're
make
gonna
people think you're weak.
Yeah,
make people think you're stupid.
It's a useful strategy. I've seen people employ it. I've absolutely seen people employ it.
It works. Play that damsel in distress. Oh no, help me.
Yes.
And then throw out that My Getty, you know?
My Getty. What's My Getty, Stephanie?
A front kick.
Let's see your My Getty.
Yeah.
Nice My Getty, Stephanie. That was very well done.
Sitting My Getty.
Sitting My Getty. Yes. Let's see if I can do it.
That would be powerful against a threat.
I can kick.
Just whip it out.
If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show and I see 635 of you are,
they like that kick.
They like your kick. They like it when you kick. If you're enjoying the content that you're seeing this morning and it's your first time here, which I imagine for many hundreds of you, it is your first time here, do us a favor, will you? Click that like button and subscribe to the channel, the Wake Up America show. When do we stream the show, Stephanie?
We stream Monday through Friday from 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time.
So 5 days a week, you get a lot of great content. We talk about the biggest news of the day, great clips, great content, awesome guests. Today's Friday, which means it's Freedom Family Friday. So my beautiful, smoking hot, redheaded libertarian wife, Stephanie Peterson, joins us in studio, and we love her very much. We'd love to have you come back and join us, though, on Monday. So just so you don't forget who we are, when you click that subscribe button, you'll be able to find us a lot easier. So thank you to rumble.com for featuring us up front and center.
Oh, now we are?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, they moved us.
They did. They pushed us up there.
They like us. They really like us.
Yes, for sure. Robbie Thurman says Jiu-Jitsu.
Again, the Jews are responsible.
The Jews are responsible for jiu-jitsu. Yes, for everything.
Krav Maga, probably. I think Krav Maga is the thing that Israel uses.
For sure, for sure. We've got a lot more great content to go for you today, but very briefly, we do want to remind you, speaking of Jews, that we've got a great special going on for gold this month.
I do have gold.
Stephanie?
I seriously came with a burlap sack of gold when I moved here.
When I married my Jewish wife, she came with a bag of gold and silver. And if you can't get yourself a Jewish wife, you're going to have to buy your own bag of gold and silver. We highly endorse and recommend our friends over at Lear Capital. You can visit them at learaustin.com, sign up for a free gold and silver information packet. It also helps to support the show. But if you want to get a $500 account credit, if you're saying to yourself, I'd like to buy some gold for the holidays, call that number that you see up on the screen there, 1-800-885-2175. That's 1-800-885-2175 if you want to get a $500 account credit. If you're our phone averse and you don't like talking on the phone, I get it. Just visit learaustin.com, send in your information. They're not going to spam you with phone calls and emails and just, make your life miserable. They won't do that. They'll send you the information that you need, and then they'll leave you alone to make your own decision. So
it just went up past $2,000.
Yeah,
that's what I believe. So it's getting higher. So if you have gold, it does go up. It stays very stable and it goes up over time.
And they'll actually buy your gold back from you.
Yes, and they actually were talking to me about buying my silver so that I could buy gold using the money from my silver, because silver it's not as stable as gold. So gold is better apparently than silver.
Yes. All right. So thank you for that. Thank you to Lear Capital for helping support the Wake Up America show. We appreciate that very much. All right. Let's see. All right. So we got more clips. So Stephanie, you this is the first time you've ever heard of this. This is called the Great Replacement Theory, and everywhere you read about it online, it calls it a what?
Oh, it's a white nationalist theory.
That's what it's.
Camus.
Yes,
is the Renaud Camus?
Yeah, Frenchman,
the one who
came up with it.
First talked about it, but then they say the Jews are behind it.
Yes,
as well.
Well, the Jews are behind everything, obviously, as you should know as a Jew.
Yes.
Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you.
But Vivek Ramaswamy in the Republican debate the other night mainstreamed it. So he brought up this idea and accused the Democrats of advancing a great replacement of white people in this country. Let's take a listen.
It is the deep state that at least Donald Trump attempted to take on. And if you want somebody who's going to speak truth to power, then vote for somebody who's going to speak the truth to you. Why am I the only person on the stage, at least, who can say that January 6th now does look like it was an inside job? That the government lied to us for 20 years about Saudi Arabia's involvement in...
And I do have a clip of him responding to criticisms of that it was an inside job. I agree with him, but let's continue. Oh, and thank you to Joni Rankin for $10 in the tip jar.
Thank you,
She
Joni.
says, good morning, crew. Thank you.
You should be getting your holiday card soon, Joni.
Yep.
I sent it out this week.
All of our big supporters, people like Joni Rankin, are getting our special holiday card this season. So keep an eye out for it, Joni. So January 6th being an inside job. So he advances this theory, and then now he continues on. Let's
9/11, that the Great Replacement theory is not some grand right-wing conspiracy theory, but a basic statement of the Democratic Party's platform. That the 2020 election was indeed stolen by big tech. That the 2016 election, the one that Trump won for sure, was also one that was stolen from him by the national security establishment that actually put up the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that they knew was false. There's a reason why I'm the only person on the stage who can say these things. That's what it's going to take, not people who were licking his boots one time and now Monday morning quarterbacking and criticizing.
Oh, shit.
Well, if the Great Replacement theory were true, wouldn't that mean that people like Vivek would start replacing some of these white people?
Yes.
So he would be somebody who would want this Great Replacement theory.
To some extent, but the difference is that Vivek Ramaswamy is a billionaire who adds value to the economy and isn't coming
He's
here.
Essentially a white person. I love Indian people. I really do. Like I've always had Indian friends growing up in elementary school.
My wife, folks, Stephanie Peterson. Can we give it up for her?
So smart, so disciplined. I think they're smarter than I am. Absolutely.
We love Indian food.
Yes.
Yeah,
Indian food, butter chicken.
Butter chicken. Absolutely. That's right. I like Taj Mahal beer. Anyways, so he said a lot there, not just the Great Replacement theory, but he also said January 6th is an inside job. And he says that not only was the 2020 election stolen from Donald Trump, but he also believes that the 2016 election was stolen from him because of the Russia collusion conspiracy theory that plagued his administration, which was a complete hoax. So that was his reasoning for that.
Do you really think his election was stolen? You really agree with that?
Which one?
I guess either or both.
So on a loose definition of terms in the 2016, yes, that he was not able to accomplish his agenda because of the false Russia collusion hoax that was manufactured by Hillary Clinton and Christopher Steele and the dossier that was made up in order to go after him, the Russian P tape and all these allegations. However, that's the Democrat playbook, right? So you shouldn't expect, you're never going to live in a world where Democrats are not going to do things like that. 2020 election, not so much, just because most of the election lawsuits that were all 86 of them, I think, were thrown out by judges that Trump nominated.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit more dubious, but I do agree with the 2016 claims. And I do agree with him that January 6th was at least partially an inside job, because I think a lot of these, the videos that have come out have shown that these people were entrapped. That they were invited into the Capitol. They were invited.
Right.
So if a
I
police
saw security people just basically standing there, not doing anything.
Right. So here's how Vivek sort of responds to criticisms of that specifically, as well as, and this is Dana Bash from CNN. Watch how expertly he handles the pushback to his what they're calling conspiracy theories. Take a listen.
Let's start with January 6th.
Sure.
There is no evidence that it is an inside job. It was a fringe conspiracy theory that the Trump-appointed FBI director, Christopher Wray, has said explicitly over and over is just not true.
So... Okay, so that's her allegation right there. Well, I do have to say thank you to Studio 314 for dropping $10 in the tip jar. And he's leaving. He has to go, unfortunately. Have a great weekend, bud. We love you.
We always love having you here. Whenever you're not here, I always notice.
Exactly. We miss you when you're not here. Appreciate y'all very much. All right, so let's continue here. So Dana Bash says that the idea that January 6th is an inside job is a conspiracy theory. Here's how Vivek responds.
I appreciate the opportunity to address it.
I was an anti-woke crusader leaving the business world, and if you had asked me 3 years ago, is there some chance January 6th is an inside job, I would have said that was crazy talk. I would say, looking at the facts of the video footage that have come out, Dana, it is shocking that you still haven't gotten a clear answer of how many federal agents were in the field that day. Look at now the video footage of actually throwing explosives and rubber bullets into what was a peaceful crowd, then releasing to the public.
Did you see any of that, by the way, in that footage?
No, not about this rubber bullets.
So the new footage that's come out from the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, that was released, showed them firing in rubber bullets into peaceful crowds, throwing tear gas into crowds of people who were not being violent, and just generally committing acts of aggression against protesters. Those videos weren't released initially.
Wow.
So it's like they're essentially just attacking peaceful people who were outside of the Capitol, not inside the Capitol.
Hey, they're not committing a crime to be peaceful.
Right. Let's continue on.
What came in response to that. But now look at the video footage that was released, and I'm glad we're talking about it because viewers deserve to look at that footage. Capitol Police literally letting people in who were then now prosecuted. Some of whom have gone on to commit suicide because of what the government's doing. That is a case of entrapment. And I think the government has not been transparent about this, which is why I then brought up another case where the government, now 20 years later, with declassified documents, told us that they lied to us at the time. And so I do think we have a government that's consistently lied to its people.
But an inside job suggests that everybody who attacked the Capitol was part of that.
I didn't say that, but I was saying that there's entrapment going on. There's entrapment going on, and this looks like a case of entrapment. And if you look at even over the last day.
What do you mean by entrapment?
Entrapment means that the police
What do you mean by entrapment? So this is a reporter, a professional reporter, who has to ask him what the definition of entrapment is.
People to do something otherwise than they otherwise wouldn't have done, and then they arrest them for actually doing it.
And you don't think it was actually the former president who was trying to get people?
I think that was the media narrative. Now look at actually a hard case.
We heard him with our own ears. I'm going to ask you about a case
and see what you think about this, right? You guys said this for a long time about the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot. Suddenly gone silent after it comes out at trial that absolutely that was a case of entrapment, which is why 2 of those people were acquitted. So I'm saying this is somebody who, on the other side of this.
In here, go ahead, Steph.
I was looking that up about Gretchen Whitmer. My ears perked up because I'm from Michigan originally, and apparently just this past day, 2 men were sentenced for that kidnapping plot, and 1 man is going to jail, another man is getting probation.
And then 2 were acquitted.
Right. So 2 were sentenced, and I guess 2 were acquitted. So part of it might have been some sort of a scam. I don't know all the details about it.
You have to look at each individual case. Kermode Bear joining us live says 1,600 viewers, Austin.
Already? Wow, it really escalated quickly.
That escalated quickly. Yes, it did.
That's it.
I'm Austin Peterson. I'm the host of the Wake Up America show. This is my smoking hot, redheaded libertarian wife, Stephanie Peterson. She joins us every Friday on the show.
Aww.
We'd love to earn your like and your subscribe here to the Wake Up America show channel. Come back and join us here every Monday through Friday from 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. We have a lot of fun. You get great news like this, great content, awesome guests. And Friday, we usually lighten it up because we do talk about the big news. But then in the last hour of the show, we're going to pivot to more relationship and social drama kind of stuff. It'll be a lot of fun. But we still got more Vivek stuff, which is really great. So
I love him.
Vivek like cake.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you say inside job, I always think when people are like 9/11 was an inside job. So it's like, was the government truly plotting January 6th out and planning it?
I think probably what happened is that they saw that there was going to be a protest, and the agencies probably got together and they probably had agent provocateur, which is people who are there to instigate, right? They wanted to arrest these people. They wanted to create a means to go after their political opponents. So the deep state, to an extent, right? The FBI, the security agencies, maybe the Washington, D.C. Metro Police that are there, that are federal agents, by the way, not they're cops. They aren't local cops. They're federal cops. Instigated the crowd, and we saw it happening because, like they were saying earlier in the chat, they were shooting rubber bullets into crowds of people who were doing nothing.
Right.
They were doing nothing that was violent. They were peaceful crowds that were outside the Capitol. Were there people on January 6th who committed crimes? Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. Those people deserve to be prosecuted if they destroyed property, if they stole property from other people, right? And that's a different case from the people who are being entrapped, which means invited to do crimes.
Yes.
So the police are inviting them into the Capitol, and then they're being prosecuted for trespassing when they were invited in. You're not trespassing if you're invited in. It's kind of like vampires, right?
Yes. We're talking about this recently. I believe it was regarding the CIA, how they almost entrapped people.
Yes.
Like they kind of lure in like the pedophiles, for example, and like the people who are selling drugs, and they like bring them in and kind of push them to commit a crime. Without
And that's
actually
entrapment.
like making them do it, but they kind of convince them to do it at the same time. It's very sneaky.
Well, it's kind of like some of these mass shootings, right? So they'll say the FBI, the shooter was known to the FBI. They were known to the FBI. Well,
Yeah, it's like, what does that mean?
Well, I think probably what happens is they probably find some troubled kid who's got mental illness. And they juice them up. They think that they're going to commit a crime. So they juice them up, they gin them up, they give them, sometimes they've been found, the FBI has been found that they will like give them fake bomb materials.
Oh my God.
Right. And then go out and like entice them to commit the crime. And then once they try to use the fake materials.
Right.
Then they arrest them and do things like that. So there's this libertarian.
Sounds a little bit
it's shady,
a little sus there.
It's going on.
Would the person actually commit the crime if they didn't have the idea in the first place?
It's been going on since the beginning of time. Like false flags have been. You could go back probably from pre-Roman times. False flags have been going on. So like the Reichstag fire of World War II. You know what this one is?
No.
Okay, so World War II. The beginning of World War II, Adolf Hitler burned Reichstag is their parliament, and the Reichstag was burned down by Hitler's own people and blamed on a Polish communist in order to justify the invasion of Poland.
Wow.
So it was actually his own people. That's
probably why people think 9/11 was an inside job,
right?
To justify
our intervention into Iraq and Afghanistan. But then there is people. Operation Northwoods is something Jesse Ventura has talked about it a lot.
That sounds familiar.
This was during the John F. Kennedy presidency. And Operation Northwoods was a plan that was advanced by one of the members of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the Army. And this general gave a plan in order to justify a pretext for the invasion of Cuba. So this was during Fidel Castro, Che Guevara, all this stuff.
Yes.
And so in order to justify an invasion, this general on the Joint Chiefs wrote Operation Northwoods, which says we should blow up some of our own ports.
Right.
Blame it on Cubans.
I think I remember you talking to me about this recently. Yes.
And that was what Operation Northwoods is. So it didn't happen. And the general who wrote it was fired.
Good.
John F. Kennedy actually, when he spoke, he said, "This is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. We're not going to do this."
I'm glad.
And so they fired him, so it didn't happen. Some people claim that the Gulf of Tonkin, which was a justification for the pretext of the War of Vietnam, was a false flag, but there's a little bit of confusion about it because it's actually the Gulf of Tonkin is two separate incidents. One which actually happened and the second one which didn't happen but was reported to happen. So there's a lot of confusion about false flags and like how they happen, when they happen, have they happened? Absolutely. Some are real, some are not. And that's, foreign policy, and that's statecraft and skullduggery as it is, right? So
it's magic.
It is. Well, the more you understand about these things, the more skeptical you become too, because some conspiracy theories are easily debunked, some not so much, and some are absolutely 100% real, right? And when I say conspiracy theories, you're really talking about conspiracies. Right. So, for example, COVID-19. The plot against our rights and to deny and to go after people who suggested that the Wuhan Institute of Virology was the centerpiece of or what they call the epicenter of the pandemic was a conspiracy theory until it was proven to be a conspiracy. And just this week, I had on John Miltimore on my show from Fee to talk about a piece he wrote that showed that a scientist who worked with Anthony Fauci is now whistleblowing, saying he conspired with Fauci to suppress evidence that the COVID-19 lab leak was the real theory. And the reason why, ostensibly, is because Fauci, of course, was funding the Institute of Virology, and he wanted to cover his ass.
Oh, my God.
Yes, through the NIAIDS, Fauci was funding the Wuhan lab. And that's why he didn't want it to get out. And that's why it was, oh, it was pangolins. Oh, it was a turtle. It was this.
The bats.
It was the bats. The bat soup. Bat soup.
Gosh.
So that's a conspiracy.
Yes.
That's not a conspiracy theory. That was a conspiracy.
So we know for sure it happened in the Wuhan lab. We know that for sure now.
99.9% positive, right? So, I mean, we may never know for certain exactly what happened, maybe until maybe 100 years from now. We still don't have all the papers on the JFK assassination.
Exactly.
So, I mean, people who are alive, who are in power, they always keep these things secret until they're dead or their kids are dead. So, anyways, we've got how many?
We want to know the secrets.
We want to know the secrets.
Tell us.
If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, good morning. I'm your host, Austin Peterson. Glad to have you here. What, 2,000 people watching us live?
That's why
wow.
We have Alex Jones. He tells us the secrets. He doesn't wait until he's dead.
Yes, Stephanie. They can text the show at what number if they want to text us?
573-319-1586.
That's right, Stephanie. That's correct.
I have a good memory. Thank you.
Text the show anytime, night or day, at 573-319-1586. Let's go. Let's continue on with some more Vivek Ramaswamy, shall we? All right, let's continue. We're Vivek posting.
As a biotech CEO, somebody who was even anti-woke, but if I was looking at this, I would have said a lot of this is crazy talk. But if you actually get into the details, I think it is startling how much the government has systematically lied. And I think it's both parties over the course of the last 25 years.
But on the
left used to be better at pointing this out and being skeptical of the government, but now it's the right.
Which is the most aggressive, offensive attack on the U.S. Capitol and on democracy itself that we have seen in our lifetime and in many, many lifetimes. To say without evidence that it was an inside job.
I'm not saying it without evidence. I think that what we're seeing now is the video footage that's come out. I was in a different place before a lot of that evidence came out, but you have to respond to the evidence. What is your response, or what is anybody else on CNN's response to the video footage that was released of Capitol Police literally just peacefully allowing people into the Capitol?
What we know
or shooting
is that
into peaceful crowds.
850 people have been convicted of crime.
But the reality is many of them were convicted before that information was released.
And do you think that former President Trump has anything to do with it?
Because you're bringing up a really good point, and your audience and everybody deserves to know the truth about this. Normally, there's a rule in constitutional law. It's called the Brady Rule. You have to turn over exculpatory evidence to the other side. In this case, it wasn't turned over because the DOJ said Congress was sitting on.
Oh,
man, that's some good stuff.
Oh, my God. Wow, I mean, with that finger and his height,
he gets right in her face.
That is intimidating body language right there.
Yeah, Van Jones from CNN was very triggered by Vivek Ramaswamy talking about the Great Replacement Theory. Take a listen to how Van Jones responded to it.
And the smug, condescending way that he just spews this poison out is very, very dangerous, because he won't stop Trump, but he's going to outlive Trump by about 50 years. And you're watching the rise of an American demagogue that is a very, very despicable person. Yeah. And I was shaking listening to him talk, because a lot of people don't know that is one step away from Nazi propaganda coming out of his mouth.
But the good thing, Van, you could.
And the smoke.
Okay, so he's saying Nazi propaganda because
of the Great Replacement Theory.
Minorities, they're taking over the white people.
Yeah, so if you Google the Great Replacement Theory, every single mainstream website, Wikipedia, everything says this is a Nazi.
Nationalist.
This is a Nazi propaganda theory that people on the left are trying to flood majority white countries with immigrants in order to replace them. When you look at what's happening in Europe,
what's happening?
Well, have you seen what's happening in like the Netherlands and in the UK?
And people are like, help us.
Yeah, when you've seen and what's happening on the southern border in the United States.
Oh,
yes. Is it really that like insane to suggest? And obviously the Democrats want this.
There was a video where there were these like Mexican immigrants coming through like the wall, the gate, whatever it is. And it's like huge opening. And there was a guard just standing there, just like letting them pass through. And he's like, I don't know, whatever. And these people are just running. It's like, again, it's kind of like January 6th. They just let them through. Here, go ahead. Just come on in. We're not going to stop you.
Yeah. Well, and so Van Jones is saying, what I think is funny is that like the CNN lady is like, oh, it's fake. Oh, here's Vivek. Oh, he's got a clip of Van Jones Okay, hold on. So Vivek is, I mean, he's killing it. Here's Vivek posting this clip of Van Jones from yesterday. Let's see.
Asking the white majority to do something is difficult. And I think it'd be easier if we just acknowledge that it's difficult. No ethnic majority group in 10,000 years of human history that I could find ever went from being a majority to being a minority and liked it. And that's basically the request from the racial justice left, is that we want the white majority to go from being a majority to being a minority and like it. That's a tough request. And the reality is that change is hard. Change that you want is hard. Change that is good is hard.
Damn. So Vivek posted that yesterday. Did you understand what Van Jones was saying there?
So he's saying that white people, it would be very hard to go from majority to minority.
Well, obviously, nobody wants to feel like a minority in their own country. Okay.
Right.
So, but here's the thing. Van Jones is saying there, the request from the racial justice left, and he's pointing at himself, is we want the white majority to go from being a majority to being a minority and like it. So Van Jones is on one hand saying that Vivek is a Nazi, essentially, for talking about the Great Replacement Theory. And then he's saying that we want to replace the white majority with a white minority.
He's spewing out poison himself.
Yes.
What in the world?
Yes.
I mean, I get it. It's like if I was a minority, I probably wouldn't be very happy either.
Well,
right?
the funny thing is you are a minority.
Behind this Great Replacement Theory.
As a Jew, yes.
Right.
This is so funny.
I am a minority. Right. So it's like, it's kind of like people who are really rich going to the poorhouse. It's not fun. It's hard to do that.
Right.
And so it's the same kind of thing. Like, how can you bring yourself down?
Well, here's the thing. I don't necessarily think that that white people are going to be replaced. If they are, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, because 70%, it's like 73% of the population of this country right now is white people. Now, could that change?
I mean, look at who's having babies, not the white people.
You're right. Right here now, but here's the problem. So, are you white?
I know this question always comes up, and I've like researched it. Like genetically, I'm white.
Because like if we were watching the new World War II in color documentary on Netflix last night, if we were in Nazi Germany right now, I could go join the SS.
Right.
You could not.
But it's like, how could they tell? Do I have some sort of, I know you say my nose is Jewish, but like, let's say I looked like really normal.
No.
Would they have any idea?
They would find you.
Because I have red hair. I could be Irish.
The problem was that like Jews are very good at keeping records of the ancestry.
Yeah.
Now, Jews are not a race. So the racial views of the Nazis were completely incoherent and totally incorrect, because they assumed that Jews were a race. Jews are a culture, an ethnicity, and a religion, right? But not a race.
Yeah, I mean, we were just watching this fabulous documentary series last night on Netflix. Everyone has to watch it.
Yeah, check it out. It's really good.
World War II. They redid all of this original footage, colorized it, added sound effects. It's just beautiful, beautiful stuff. And we actually saw that the Nazis, they were literally like holding up these like skin color charts.
Yes.
So like all of these people, and they're like trying to study different races and eye color. They're like studying all the differences.
So like the Polish people that they captured, for example, they would take them and for let's see, was it Great Britain, because they had colonies at the time, they had called up their reserves. So whenever they would capture British troops, if they were like Indian or Vietnamese, or like, for example, the French had colonies.
A lot of black people.
There were a lot of black French.
Yes.
Yeah. And there were Vietnamese fighting the French army because of the French colonies in Vietnam, which eventually led to the United States getting involved in the Vietnam War, but 40 years later. But it was fascinating to see in this World War II documentary last night that they were showing the actual colors of the eyes, because when you see these things in black and white, it just doesn't have the same impact as to see it in color. But they were showing, like, they were trying to prove race based on eye color and based on these other characteristics of the people. But for you, for example, you would be hard, I think, to detect as a Jewish woman,
my skin is lighter than most white people.
Right. But you would be, obviously, your ancestors came from Russia. When did your ancestors come to the United States from Russia? Do you know what year? Was it the early 1900s?
Late 1800s, early 1900s.
Yeah. That was, the great immigration wave of
they came through Ellis Island on the boat.
Yeah, my ancestors the same. Mine were Danish, came from Denmark to the United States in like 1902 or something like that. And think about how brilliant our ancestors were to get the hell out of Europe in 1900. Like last train to Clarkstown. It was.
Yeah, as far as I know, I have no family members that died in the Holocaust.
Right. So getting out of Europe at that point in time was like the most brilliant thing they could do. Anyways, so we're all coming back. This is all coming back to a discussion that we're having about like the great replacement theory. The left wants to have their cake and eat it too. They want to say they want to say what Van Jones has said, which is that we want to replace the white majority. And then they want to say that anyone who says that the left believes that is a Nazi.
That's just so twisted.
It is. Yes.
They just want it to be hush hush, the way they really feel.
The numbers on the show have continued to climb this morning. Good morning.
What are we at?
2,400, 2,300 or so.
Almost gonna break the maximum we've ever had. That's like 3,000, I believe.
We've been discussing this morning the conversation between Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson last night. Some of the claims that Alex Jones made about Joe Biden wandering the White House naked at night, which is funny, but also kind of sad and a little bit scary.
His wife does. It's like, is she Joe Biden's wife? Is she like tending to him while he's walking around naked, or is she just like, I'm going to sleep?
I have no friggin' clue. Honestly, they probably have a full-time like White House doctor who's there,
like a caregiver,
especially if he's
nurse.
If it's true that he's on amphetamines, which I would be willing to believe, then he probably has a doctor who's there ready to administrate him. It kind of reminds me of like Michael Jackson in his final years.
Yes, he was on a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
So, to help him sleep.
Yeah, so Michael Jackson had like an in-house doctor.
Yes. Oh, yes. I mean, I would assume the White House has an in-house doctor and nurse team.
Sure, but it was probably it was probably before Joe Biden. It's like you do have a doctor on standby, but they aren't necessarily always prescribing you amphetamines and ensuring that you're getting a constant stream of this. They also, and from what I understand, this was when I was running for president, I learned about this, is that they have your blood ready to go. So like they have like your blood type in a fridge in the White House in case you're injured. Yes. And they also have it inside the White House limo. So when you're riding in, they call it the Beast.
Yes.
When you're riding in the limo, they have like a refrigerator with not your blood, but blood for you in
it's like right next to the cans of beer in the refrigerator. Oh, would you like blood or would you like?
Yeah. So because if like the president is injured in a terrorist attack, then he always has his blood nearby, ready to go. So
this is so cool and creepy.
In case he's thirsty,
I love hearing all the juicy secrets.
Oh yes, for sure.
Underground,
for sure. We love making friends, Stephanie. Since we've got 2,300 people joining us on the show this morning, can we say? Please like and subscribe. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. We'd love to have you come back and join us. What's the show's schedule, Stephanie, my lovely Jewish wife?
On Monday through Friday from 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. And if you can't make it in the morning, we have a podcast available of this entire show, and you can listen to it whenever you want on any place that the podcast can be downloaded.
And what's the text?
Apple, Podbean.
And where could people text into the show and let us know what's on their mind?
573-319-1586.
That's right. 573-319-1586. We've been talking a little bit about Vivek Ramaswamy this morning.
Now we're going to put the view on.
We're going to put the view on. But before we do, very briefly, since we've got such a big audience, Stephanie, do you want to tell our listeners really quick about apforlibertyshop.com?
Oh, absolutely. So apforlibertyshop.com. If you have never heard of it before, it is basically the grand Liberty store. We have everything Liberty, from phone cases. We have coffee. Do we have any of the coffee boxes?
Oh, I forgot to bring them today. But we sell a delicious Founding Fathers themed coffee called Founding Flavors.
We have Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, Adam's Patriotic Perk, Washington's Revolutionary Roast. Oh gosh, Franklin's Electric Elixir, Thomas's Painkiller. So we have coffee for everybody. We have shirts.
Lots of fun, like novelty gifts, for example, like Donald Trump. We've got Donald Trump toilet brushes, which I think we have 4 of these left. And if you want to get these before Christmas, definitely order them today because we have 4 left. And so go to apforlibertyshop.com, get yourself some cool merch from there, try some of our coffee, and and just see all the cool stuff. A lot of our like Pepe merchandise is very popular.
Pepe the Knight Crusader.
So we have Pepe
holding a sword.
Pepe the Crusader Knight, and our new product line, which is customizable metal signs.
Yes,
which is really fun.
Actually very new. The All-American custom steel signs. They are all liberty oriented. We have eagles, American flags, 1776, you name it, horses. So we have animals, bears, hunting signs, everything. And you can customize them with your very own text.
Like Ron Paul was right. You can get in different colors, different sizes, customize them yourself, custom metal sizes, different sizes and shapes. You can get like bald eagles. We've got God Bless America, Living Free. So for example, this Liberty Bell monogram, you can custom.
You can change the words.
Yeah, so you can just come down here, click personalize, pick which color you want. You can get black, gold, silver, whichever one that you like. So let's say 12 inches, gold. Let's put, what are we going to put in there? Let's put Stephanie
Vivek,
on the list. Or Vivek, right? Or Alex Jones, right? Alex Jones was right.
Oh.
There you go.
We actually have a sign contest going on until this Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And so basically, if you go to our website and you go to the All-American Custom Steel Signs and you pick one, customize it, take a screenshot of it, and you can post it on Twitter and you have to tag AP for Liberty on Twitter and also do hashtag, I believe it is AP for Liberty. What is it?
I can't remember.
For Liberty contest. So we have a contest. We'll post about it on Twitter. Again, we've been posting about it. But the winner of this contest wins a free sign. So there is incentive here. You will get a gift. So this is very great.
There we go. All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much for helping us to do a little show promotion there. Go to AP4, that's the number 4, AP4libertyshop.com. Okay. All right. So now we're going to get back into the clips this morning. We're talking about The View, where they're talking about hate speech on college campuses. Let's take a listen to what the ladies of The View know or don't know about the topic.
The way they are. Or you want to call Hamas a government. That's not a government.
Can I just weigh in here? Because, I think what Elise Stefanik, the Congresswoman, was talking about, and what this entire hearing was about, should have been about free speech. And free speech, and although many people may feel uncomfortable with it, the most hateful and heinous speech is the most protected speech. Okay?
Campuses have not been good for free speech in years.
Well, but they have been.
They canceled Harvard actually has one of the worst records on free speech.
What you heard was them saying what is completely accurate under the law. It depends on the context. So if someone does yell at a crowd racial slurs or calls for genocide in a public place, in a crowd, that is protected speech. One-on-one confrontation, if a white student, for example, says to a black student a racial slur,
then it's hate.
That is
about the codes of conduct.
Can I just finish
yeah,
this
it's not
for a
talking
moment,
about the law,
please?
though.
But the codes of conduct must adhere to the law. So
but
when
can
it's
go
when it's
than
one
the law
when
to
it's
protect students.
No, it really can't go against the Constitution of the United States. So when we're talking about this one-on-one type of thing, yes, that is when that conduct leads to harassment and could be actionable by the university, and that's exactly what Harvard.
But as it said, you have to commit genocide to be able to condemn genocidal language. Like that's a dangerous, slippery slope.
Yeah. But again, use of that type of example is really inflammatory, and it distorts.
But that's actual words being used on college campuses.
It distorts what the law is. The law protects that kind of language,
so
and in my.
So what she's saying here essentially is that it's okay to have hate speech towards a group, but it's not okay to have hate speech against an individual.
Oh, okay.
So that was
I was
her
getting
long,
so confused by her definition and code of conduct and constitution.
Hate speech is protected when you're discussing groups, she says.
Okay.
But not individuals. So you can say the Jews need to be genocided, But you can't say Steffi needs to be genocided because she's a Jew. Jew.
I mean, I think freedom of speech is freedom of speech.
Yeah, I think it is as well, right? Words are words.
Unless you're actually threatening somebody with a real true threat, and then obviously that's
different.
Harming that person.
That's obviously, yes. You can't make a threat of, I'm going to kill you, let me go get my gun, right? At that point in time, then it's fighting words at that point.
You call the police.
Yeah. Or, well, you and I, we'll call the police and, let them come and clean up the mess that we left.
That's right. First you get out your gun, then you call the police.
Then you call the police.
Right.
That's right. Stephanie knows a little bit of karate. You got to watch out for my wife, and she also knows how to use a gun. So
that's right.
Levin214 says, how this show is still on is mind-blowing. He's talking about The View.
I was like, our show?
No,
what?
Not us. Not us. Yes.
I was actually thinking the same thing. I'm like, who are these people on the panel? I mean, Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar, they're like the only two originals. Everybody else is gone.
Yeah.
You just keep recycling people. It's like, who are they?
Zareel, first time on the show. What's up, Zareel?
Hi.
Says, just lost 10 IQ points. True.
I know. It's like these people are trying to be political journalists or something, and it's like, what are their backgrounds? Like, who are these people?
CJ824, she's got it right. She says, how do they feel about the free speech of Alex Jones? Good question.
They probably would not like that very much.
No, they would not.
Yes,
for sure. East Coast Toasty Boy calls them the Karen crew. Yes, that's also good.
Basically.
If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, good morning. We've been hanging out with over 2,000 people this morning. Isn't that wild? Stephanie and I, our own little show.
Yay.
So we're going to move on to another topic this morning. And I just want to say, for those of you who are being introduced for us for the first time, so the Wake Up America show is our passion project. It's part of our small business. We're trying to essentially start up a libertarian production company. And we have plans to expand and grow into new shows. We're working on a documentary as well.
Battle of Athens documentary.
Yep, a Battle of Athens documentary that's set to come out next year before the election. And we also have a merchandise shop that we try and grow and build our brands so that we can spread the ideas that we really care about, which is limited government, economic freedom, personal liberty.
That's apforlibertyshop.com.
We both got started as like liberty activists with Congressman Ron Paul's presidential campaign. I ran for president as a libertarian in 2016 and U.S. Senate as a Republican in 2018. And that's how Stephanie and I met.
I did not run for president or office at all.
No, but
I was just a very loyal volunteer.
Stephanie was my number one, most committed, most devoted, loyal volunteer. And of course, I did not become a U.S. Senator, but Stephanie and I fell in love. And so I won the real prize. And we got married a couple of years ago. And we just celebrated our second anniversary. And we are deeply in love. And we try and, make friends with as many people as we can and try and build our little business. So,
yes.
So that's what the Wake Up America show is. It's a 5-day a week, 2-hour morning show, talk show. We try and build healthy online communities. So when you come here and you watch the show, if you want to be in a good mood in the morning, this is the place to come, because we don't have the biggest audience in the world. Like, this is, a fluke for us to have this many people watching us. Typically, we don't have this many. But we just want you to know that if you're looking for like a healthy community and you want to be a part of a group of activists that really want to bring positive change to the world, then this is the place, because we really encourage healthy communities here, positive dialogue, and we try and discourage negative, hateful, insane, personal. We try not to engage in the politics of personal destruction here, so that we can have a safe place that we can all gather and talk about ideas and debate and have disagree with each other. It's totally fine. But we really try and build a healthy community, because we think that in order for us to be able to build the next generation of freedom fighters, we need to have a place where we can all gather together and feel like we can share our thoughts with each other and be friends.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been in some of the other podcast chats of people in the liberty community, and it is just disgusting.
Yeah, people can be very hateful, very cruel, and
they're
all that.
Personally attacking each other.
Right. And we try and discourage that. It's not to say that if you come in here and you say, you're having a bad day and you're calling somebody out for whatever reason, you're not going to get banned or something like that, right? So, but I mean, if that's your whole MO, then we're probably not the place for you. But if you like to have a good, positive, sunny, if you want to start your morning the right way, the Wake Up America show is great. Not only do we have an awesome show, great guests, great regular guests. We had Dave Rubin on this week.
We did.
We have great regular guests like Camellia Peterson and Daniela Pensack and you, my lovely wife, Stephanie. So it's a great way to start your day, but also we have our own coffee brand, which pairs very well with the Wake Up America show as well. So
it helps you wake up.
Yep,
and if you don't want to wake up, you can have Betsy's Liberty Lullaby that has no caffeine.
No caffeine in it. There you go. So decaffeinated. All right, Stephanie. So we've only got about 40 minutes left on the show. It's flying by this morning.
Oh, it really is.
Yes. It's Quest Fanning texted in. He says, YouTube has a note from Wikipedia about Great Replacement that shows up in my view history for yesterday's show. Oh, so the fact that we talked about the Great Replacement theory,
They left a note.
YouTube puts a note on our show.
Ah, yes.
Because of that. That doesn't surprise me. Where are we on the show?
Are we talking about relationships next?
Yeah,
or
do you
like
want
the
to?
Power.
Let's talk about.
Things?
Do you want to talk about emotional cheating?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this was
Dear Abby.
Dear Abby, this was from the New York Post. This is talking about emotional cheating. I'll be curious to hear your thoughts about this. We're going to move off of politics proper, and now we're going to talk about more personal stuff here this morning. So my boyfriend Rick and I broke up 10 years ago and reunited 2 years ago. I'm in good health, own my own home, and am financially independent. Rick is 9 years older. He owns his own home and is retired. We have been seeing each other every other week for the last 2 years. He spent many hours painting and doing repairs to my house. I cook for him. I give massages. We have a fantastic sex life. So what's the problem? Well, Rick is emotionally involved with another woman. He claims they aren't in any way sexually involved. Should I tell her about his involvement with me? Should I tell her?
Right. The other woman.
I have her name, address, and phone number. Rick refuses to tell her about me because he says it will upset her. Whoa. I think she ought to know. What do you think I should do? I love him dearly and don't want to lose him. Question, being played in New Jersey? That's what they're asking here. Here's how Dear Abby responded.
Yeah.
Listen to your intuition. First thing you should do if you haven't is ask Rick why the woman knowing about you would upset her. Does she think that his relationship with her is exclusive? The second would be to tell him you would like him to introduce the two of you. If he refuses, call her. You deserve to know exactly what's going on, which may be that they're much more involved than he has been admitting. Barney Stalls, you're not banned from the chat, brother. We see you there this morning. No problem.
Does he think he's not being heard?
Yeah, he thinks he's not being heard, but we do hear him.
You are seen and you are heard and you are important.
Exactly, Barney. We hear from you. Okay, so emotional cheating, Stephanie. What's your thought on this? What's your take on this as a therapist, which you are?
I mean, it is a little bit odd. It's like, why is he still talking to this woman and not telling her about the woman that's in his life and his relationship? So, yeah, that is definitely sus. In terms of I think first the people in the relationship should have the conversation and, talk about, okay, why are you not open with this other person about me? What's going on? What does she provide for you that I can't provide for you? Do you want to be polyamorous? I mean, I know a lot of people are polyamorous nowadays, where they just believe that they can have multiple relationships so that they can fulfill all of their needs all at once.
Yeah, I think this is sus. I think it's sus. If a man doesn't want to introduce him, it's because he feels like he's got a relationship that would be in danger if the two women knew about each other.
Right.
But emotional cheating.
Maybe it was like somebody he was with during those years that they weren't together. Because I'm like, why do they have this hiatus and then get back together? Like, what happened?
And it's a boyfriend situation, which is a little bit different than, for example, our marriage.
Right.
Right. And emotional cheating is a serious threat to relationships. I think even more than physical ones. I think you've said this before, that you think that like physical cheating is less than emotional cheating, or maybe I'm misquoting you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about in terms of what would make me more upset. Because I feel like emotional cheating, at least for a man, that would be like way more time consuming and like that would get into their head a lot more. Whereas physical cheating for a man, that means nothing. It's like purely physical, purely sexual. And the man really doesn't think about the woman after that. Whereas emotional cheating, it's like the man continues to stay in contact with this person and like feels an attachment to them. Whereas when they're physical with someone, they really don't feel that attachment. For a woman, If a woman is emotionally cheating,
that's dangerous.
That is, because women, are much more emotional. But gosh, I feel like if a woman physically cheats, she naturally is emotionally going to cheat as well. I think when a woman has sex with someone, she may not admit it, but she is emotionally attaching to that person at the same time.
Our new friend, CC2023, who's over in the comments this morning, says, sounds like she needs to back away from him emotionally. She needs to take her emotions out of it because it won't work out. Possible. That's not a relationship, says Robbie Thurman. It's a fracking soap opera. Tactical eye roll.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this guy is non-committal. It sounds like he's not willing to commit. I don't know how old these people are, so maybe they're in their early 20s or something. But
which changes the dynamics a lot. If you're in your early 20s, then it's gonna drastically change the dynamics of this.
Yeah, so it's definitely a red flag. I mean, the fact that that his current girlfriend gives him massages, cooks food for him, and they have a great sex life. It's like, that's great. But is his current girlfriend not very emotional? Is she not approachable in terms of talking to her about how he feels?
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of information we don't have about this, but I would say that if he doesn't want to introduce them, that's sus. That's definitely a red flag. Something to be concerned about.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The part that Dear Abby said about how you should take it upon yourself and call the girl, if he won't really tell you much. I don't know. I'm not one to reach out to other women like that.
No.
I don't think I would do that.
What if there was a situation where a woman was constantly hitting me up? You have access to my Instagram.
Right.
So if a woman is hitting me up, then you're going to see it, right? And so if let's say that you saw my Instagram comments or my DMs and you saw that this girl was flirting with me, sending me messages, and let's say I'm not responding, but she continues to try. And she just keeps doing it. At some point, do you think you might say something to her?
I just really don't like to get involved.
I think you would. I think after a while, you would probably be very annoyed by it. Because
I would hound on you the most. Well, I would be like, this is on you. You are the source of this. You need to.
If I'm not responding, I'm not the source of it.
Oh, if she continues to just message you and you're not responding, who cares? Just block her.
All right.
So if you're not blocking her,
you're not a very jealous person in general, but you do get jealous a little bit sometimes.
Oh, of course. Yes.
What do you think it is that would actually kind of trigger your jealousy?
What would trigger my jealousy?
Maybe I'll get myself in danger this morning.
What would trigger my jealousy? I think, a woman that you're probably giving your time and attention to, truly, where you're spending time having lots of conversations with her, and you want to get together with her. If you were oh yeah, I want to.
That sounds like it's crossing the line. So
that would, but yeah, if I saw you messaging with a woman often, she's messaging you, you're messaging her, and you guys are enjoying, chatter together, and it's taking away from our relationship.
Yes,
where I'm trying to talk to you and you're texting with this other person.
That's obviously.
Then I would be okay,
sure.
You probably need to reel that in a little bit, not spend so much time.
Hot Water 84 says it sounds to me like he's got two girlfriends. Me too.
Right.
Corey and Callie says, why does she have so much info on this woman? She's already done snooping and confronted him.
Now, the snooping part I will do.
But
here's the thing.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
I want to hear that. CC23 says, I need to disagree with you. There are so many women who can be in a sexual relationship and not have feelings for their sexual partner. Probably true, but maybe the exception to the rule. Go ahead, Steph.
Oh, so anyways, about the snooping. I am the queen of snooping.
No, you're not. You're all snoops.
Oh, yeah, I love snooping.
Snoopy women, snoopity snoop. It's
I love it. I love it. So that's the thing. I won't approach her directly, but I will basically be like the NSA on her ass. I will be tracking every possible thing I can on social media. I will be Googling her, constantly finding old photos of her, finding her life story. So I'm very good at that.
That's
but she will never know that I exist. I make sure that my tracks are not seen.
That is not uncommon. That is not uncommon. Women love to snoop. We were watching some reel recently where it was showing like how guys and girls act after the date is over. And it was like the girl goes home to all of her girlfriends and she is like, they're snooping on him, they're like finding his license plate, they're analyzing everything that he did during the debate. And the guy goes home to his like roommate and they're just like, so how's tonight? Oh, it's good. And then they're talking about the game and they're not talking about anything else. Like it's like they're not like even thinking about it at all. Good morning. If you're just tuning in to the Wake Up America show, over 1,500 people watching us live. We'd love to see it. We never have this many people on Friday, so we're thankful to have you here as a big audience today and grateful to have you as an audience member. Can I ask you a favor? Would you please click the like button here on Rumble and subscribe to the channel that you're watching us on right now, especially if you're enjoying the content today. People like CC and East Coast Toasty Boy for the first time joining us this morning. We'd love to have you come back and make friends and stick around because the show does stream live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. So if you've been looking for a great way to start the day, maybe you're getting the kids ready for the school and you want to find out what's happening in the world, we try and make ourselves destination listening for people like you. So we don't want you to forget who we are. So subscribe to the channel so you can remember and be like, hey, let's listen to Austin and Stephanie on Fridays. And of course, Monday through Thursdays, we typically do like the news and the politics beat a lot more heavy. We did cover it a lot today, but on Fridays, when my smoking hot redheaded libertarian wife, Stephanie, joins us, that's when we tend to start talking about like a little bit more relationship issues and different things like that. So
like Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. Oh God, Taylor Swift. Man. Time Woman of the Year. Did you want to weigh in on that, Stephanie? What do Adolf Hitler and Taylor Swift have in common?
I know. I think that's weird that Adolf Hitler was chosen. I really don't understand that. That was before World War II. But
yeah. Yeah.
So he was still a good man, I guess, back then.
No.
Right?
No.
Curious to see the criteria of what makes a person the person of the year. It's like, what are the criteria that they have to meet? It's like Taylor Swift. She's just your all-American, well-rounded woman. She's everywhere, doing everything. She's on tour. She's so talented. And she's a good influence for women. I mean, she's not a whore, I don't think. She might be a whore. Sometimes her dress is a little bit, not that good relationship material.
Rare Camellia says, so for women it's called snooping, but for men it's called research. Sounds sexist to me. Okay, Adolf Hitler was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year in 1938. This decision was based on Time's tradition of selecting a person who, for better or for worse, has done the most to influence the events of the year.
For better or for worse. It sounds like a marriage.
It's important to note that this designation is not an honor or an endorsement, but a recognition of the significant impact that the person has had on global events. In 1938, Hitler had become dominant and transformational in global politics. He had a profound effect on the course of history. The decision to name a person of the year was a reflection of his influence and notoriety rather than a commendation of his actions. Time's choice often sparks controversy, as it can include figures who are infamous rather than admired. The magazine's criteria focus on the impact and influence of the individual rather than their morality or the ethics of their actions.
Their footprint.
Correct. So Taylor Swift.
I mean, I know Pearly Things was definitely upset about this. She did not think that Taylor Swift should have won. She thought Elon Musk should have won, which I do agree to that. If it's about impact, I mean, Elon has impacted our world
rockets.
way more. Yeah.
He's running the world's
a music concert has nothing.
Not as much.
Rockets.
Yeah, be careful about that because the Taylor Swifties will kill you. Fook. Fook over on the live stream. First time we've seen Fook today. What's up, Fook?
I like your name.
Says, would smash Taylor Swift. I like him dead-eyed and malnourished.
I mean, she's really pretty. I don't think for those reasons, but other reasons.
She's not my type. I never cared for the high maintenance ladies, right? To me, I've dated some high maintenance ladies in the past, and I will say that they are more trouble than they're worth. We were just talking about this on the way into the show today, weren't we? About how you're different.
Oh, yes.
We were just talking about
I definitely am.
Because we were talking about an ex of mine and how she's so like high maintenance.
Yes, we were talking about that ex. I've actually met her. Yeah, I sat in the back of a car with her for 6 hours.
Yeah, and could barely understand anything she says because her British accent.
Well, she couldn't understand us.
Yeah, but
that was the problem.
But she's like an oil baroness. She travels the world. She's always wearing like Fendi, Gucci, Prada, and all this kind of stuff. And if I was, because we were talking about like what men really look for in a woman, and the video that we were watching was saying like it doesn't matter how much money she has or what power, because men don't care about that. Men will marry a McDonald's checkout girl.
Right.
Women don't do that. They want to, because we were watching the video about the woman who's like, she got rejected by a matchmaker because her standards were too high. She was like, I want to have someone who makes as much or more than me.
Yeah, she's like a 38-year-old woman applying her makeup on TikTok while talking about her relationship problems.
And I was talking about how like if I cared about money, if that's what I cared about as a man, then I would have just continued to pursue that woman who was mega wealthy and powerful. She's now like I think she's a member of parliament in the UK now, but
she won for office.
Don't even care. Not what I really look for. Like my life would have been hell, right? Trying to navigate something like that. I would have, it's more trouble than it's worth. Even the money cannot buy happiness. We men know that because we have to spend our lives, our whole value is based on what we can provide. And so since we're already providing for ourselves and then we want to provide for our families, it's nice if our wife makes money. It's nice if our wife brings it in, but it's not a deal breaker for us because at the end of the day, like the qualities that you embody are the wifely qualities that I talk about, that men, and I even said that a lot of men don't even know what they want in a woman.
I know. I don't think I even knew what I really wanted in a relationship either in terms of the roles. I did not picture myself as like a housewife.
It's funny because you have Travis Kelce, who is Taylor Swift's boyfriend, and he is this high value male, but even he is dwarfed by her in her fame and fortune and glory.
I'm sure she's more wealthy than he is.
Oh yeah. So there's this really funny meme. Did you ever see this picture of Hillary Clinton where she's like in a normal person's house and she's like looking around
she really was in a normal person's house at one point in her life?
Yes. Well, the Hillary Clinton picture of her in a small house, I might be able to find in a small apartment kitchen. Hold on, let's see if I can find it. Yes, here it is. So this is Hillary Clinton like hangs out in like presidential palaces. Okay.
Right.
So she does not like hang out with the normies. But here is Hillary Clinton in a normal person's house. Look at her looking around. So they've got like plants in the sink over here. And
she looks afraid.
She looks like she's never seen anything like this before. I wonder if I can zoom in.
I wonder if this is real.
I can't make it any bigger.
Like if she really
it's real.
was there. Oh boy.
But she looks confused by this. Like the people actually live like this. Right, in the world, because obviously she lives obvious. But here's the thing: this is Taylor Swift walking into Travis Kelce's mansion in Kansas City. Get it?
Right. Yeah, I do believe. I love Indian people, and I agree with how they marry because they do a lot of matchmaking, and usually they marry within the same caste system. So it's like you're pretty similar with your finances, and I think that is really important. Because, a rich person has a hard time understanding a poor person and vice versa.
Fook says if he cared about money more than about love, he wouldn't spend it all on hookers and cocaine.
Wait, if he cared about money more than he cared about love, wait a second, I'm so confused.
He wouldn't spend it all on hookers and cocaine. We're having fun here this morning on the Wake Up America show with 1,400 people live joining us. Wow, amazing.
Thank you. Maybe we should win Person of the Year for our impact.
Yes, exactly.
Impacting 1,400 people.
Without Rumble.com, we would not be doing this. Thank you to Rumble. We appreciate you. And if it's your first time here joining the show, we would love to earn your subscribe. And if you're one of the 1,400 people who are joining us live and you are subscribed, make sure you click that like button because that helps us to spread the ideas of economic freedom and personal liberty, which is what we're all about. I'm Austin Peterson. This is my wife, Stephanie Peterson. She joins us on Fridays, Freedom Family Fridays, as we call it. So it's a great way to start your day and have a lot of fun and goof around and learn about the news and politics and relationships and all kinds of stuff. Kind of we're the Taylor Swift of politics, if you will, of liberty politics.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm the Travis Kelce. You're the Taylor Swift.
That's right.
There we go. Or I'm the Taylor Swift and you're the Travis Kelce.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're better than me.
No, I'm
agree.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. Let's see.
You're more high value.
No, I'm just teasing.
That's why I married you.
I'm just teasing. We do have 127 likes, though, so thank you very much. Moki97, first time here. What's up, Moki? I think it's Moki.
Oh.
Moki97 says, got to check their credit score. Yes, very true. That's a good one. Evil laugh.
Yeah, because like so many people get into relationships and then they get into debt because of their partner and they get screwed and it causes a lot of problems. Money is one of the main problems in a relationship.
Yes, it's true.
Yes.
What else do we have on the show? We've got more topics to go to. Oh, we were going to talk about old-fashioned relationship habits.
That sounds nice.
That we should bring back before the end of the year.
I was just talking about something like that the other day, where I just wish that the old school things would just come back. It's just special.
So this is old-fashioned. I've got a list of old-fashioned relationship habits that need to come back. This number one on the list is already shaming me.
Uh-oh.
And I feel ashamed.
Uh-oh. Tell me.
Number one, spend quality time together with no major agenda and no technology.
Yeah, you are really bad at that.
I know I am.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, you do usually message people while I'm trying to talk to you.
It's true, and I'm sorry. I apologize. I need to learn how to put down the smart. I do try. Every once in a while, I'll realize that I'm doing it, like at dinner or something like that, and I'm like, I need to put this down and get away from it. But
yeah, well, I like what you do now when we eat dinner is you put the phone in between us and you play videos so that we can both enjoy and watch.
Yes, that's what I like to do at dinner time. So I'll put like my little phone down and then I'll start scrolling through the reels there. So
yes. Yeah, I am not attached to my phone whatsoever. Honestly, I keep my phone on silent. The only way I know my phone is ringing is because of my watch. I only have certain notifications on my Fitbit, so it'll vibrate. But I mean, I really could care less. My attention is always focused on what's in front of me.
So spending quality time together without the mobile devices.
But
that's
again,
old school things we need to bring back.
Trump is like that too. And, high value, successful men, they're always working, making deals. And so it's like you would not be as successful if you put your phone down.
It's true. I mean, I am like responding to customer inquiries from apforlibertyshop.com and, answering questions for customers and things. So Ofuk was talking about his cocaine. I just sent him a link to the...
buy some cocaine from our store.
The White House cocaine. You cannot buy cocaine from our store. But you can find our White House cocaine finder magnet over at apforlibertyshop.com. So, Ofuk, you drop this. You can get your cocaine back over at apforlibertyshop.com. Oh, and don't forget too that all of our shipping is free over at apforlibertyshop.com. Oh, and some people, Stephanie, were asking about this. We got the assault gnomes.
Oh, we did. They came in stock now, so we're going to sift through them this weekend, figure out pricing, all of the details, and I would assume we'll have them up by next week.
Yeah, some people have been asking about the garden gnomes with machine guns. So we just got them in this week. We're going to list them on the website this weekend, so keep an eye out because we now have assault garden gnomes. This weekend, we're going to list on the site.
Cute.
Yes, they are. All right. So continuing on with things that old school things with couples that we need to bring back, which is be fully present when you're in the presence of others. Another
that's like number one. They're just really bashing you today.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
so give your friends and family the gift of you this holiday season, your undivided attention and kindness.
Absolutely. I mean, it is really saddening. I remember even like 15 years ago when I was first shocked by a family that I saw at a restaurant and they were all on their phones and I was like disgusted by it. I was like, how could they do this to their children? But now it's like, that's just normal for everybody.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be.
Taz Sport, who is their first time here on the show today. Nice to meet you, Taz.
Hi.
says, I even quit social media. Wow.
Thank you.
That's brave.
I mean, seriously, if we weren't doing the show and the shop and all this kind of stuff, I probably would quit social media. It's like, I'm just checked out.
I wish I could, but I can't. Robbie Thurman says, someone complimented me for opening the car door for my wife.
Yeah.
I couldn't bring myself to tell him that my door handle didn't work.
Oops. Yeah. I think those chivalrous things are really cute.
Mm-hmm. Number 3, express your sincere appreciation for loved ones every chance you get. Now, this one I do.
You do that.
Yes. Yes. No matter how sure you are of someone's appreciation and admiration, it's always nice to be reminded of it. So, sadly, it's often only when we're tragically reminded of how short someone's life is when someone dies that we start to appreciate the importance of expressing our love openly. Don't wait until it's too late to tell the people that you love how much you appreciate them. That is something that I am good at.
Yeah, you're way better at saying I love you than I am. Because in my family, I was never raised that way. I mean, we didn't say I love you unless it was like someone died or something.
And you notice that about my family is that we are, more sentimental. And you like that about our family. I do.
And I definitely want to instill that in our own children, give them hugs, make them know that they're worthy, they feel loved. That goes a long way in terms of self-esteem.
Peterson men are like about as masculine as you can get while still having like a heart and like being able to like be, emotionally available to the women in our lives.
Right.
And then there's kind of a line that you can cross with that where it can go too far, obviously. But I think the Petersons, we definitely straddle that line pretty well. Being able to be masculine, be a man, be a leader, but not be emotionally disconnected, out of touch with mental health problems because we're not able to connect, right?
Right.
Number 4, old school relationship habits we need to bring back. Work together and help each other grow. I think we're good at this.
Oh, absolutely.
You certainly are amazing at it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, work together, help. I mean, I can't really use your help in my therapy because that would be violating privacy laws. So I can't be like, hey, help me brainstorm. Although I do, sometimes I'll just ask you more general questions like, hey, what if somebody's going through this? What would you do?
You actually take a lot of inspiration from me for your clients.
Especially about relationship advice.
Yeah, I was like worried that I'm not contributing enough to our relationship because I want to make sure that I'm there and present for you. But then I forget that like sometimes just the content that I'm putting out and what I'm discussing, and you take that and use it. But then also you do come to me like when your clients like are men who are dealing with the relationship issues. You ask me, how did I deal with those when it came to women and how did like my struggle? And it's been helpful to some of your clients.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I share red pill content with my clients all the time.
She's like one of the only therapists out there who isn't like leftist, socialist, totalitarian.
Oh, yeah.
She like shares red pill content with us. If you wanted a therapist who would actually help you as a man and not try and convince you that you need to hate yourself as a white male, my wife is like the only therapist out there who will not tell you that you're a piece of shit for being a white male and will help you to like actually build healthy relationships, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And that you're not evil for being a man.
I give them all the secrets of the women. I'm like, okay, look, this is how you communicate with a woman, okay? Because they're gonna want you to do something. They're gonna be like, hey, honey, can you take out the trash? And then 5 minutes later, they're just gonna do it themselves, and you're gonna be like, what the heck? What happened? And so it's just like helping guys understand women behaviors and the things that are annoying about them, and just trying to navigate that. There is a way.
Number 5 on this list: focus on inner beauty. Right? Hard to say. You can't fall in love with just physical beauty. You can be lusted out. You can lust after it, right? But when you really connect with a person's inner self, most physical imperfections become irrelevant. Now, we love each other for our bodies. Like
I know.
We do.
I call you Adonis every day.
You love my body.
I do.
There's nothing you love more than to see me naked in the morning. So like you get very excited by this.
Not like Joe Biden. I'm sure that would not be a good sight. But yes. I would like it if you walked around naked all night long.
But one day I will not be this beautiful specimen of a man that before you, and we'll still have love for each other because we understand we have a relationship that goes beyond like our physical affairs.
Right. Because we do recognize that inner beauty about us. I mean, you are so giving to people. You really are. You know, you like give gifts, which I'm not very good at doing. You like call people up just to talk to them or help them, give them advice. I'm not really like that.
I also give away some of my secrets sometimes to my friends, like business secrets and things.
Yes.
So Chickadee12345 says, "Who's the redhead? Who are you, Stephanie?"
Who am I? Oh,
Yes.
me. Like, who am I really?
Yes, who are you? Chickadee is, I think it's Chickadee's first time here. Nice to see you.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm Stephanie Peterson, also known as Steffi. I am Austin's wife.
Chickadee also says that they wouldn't mind seeing you naked.
Me?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing you naked either.
Oh my God, that's inappropriate. I'm married. See? I am the best cock blocker you will ever meet in your life.
Chickadee, they're spectacular. She looks.
Is Chickadee a woman?
Probably not, but
oh gosh.
But trust me, Stephanie looks great naked. Number 6, we're talking about old-fashioned relationship habits.
Oh, but who am I? I'm also a social worker, so I do therapy for my main job. So that's usually where I am during the week.
Steffi's a therapist, and I'm a liberty activist. Number 6 on this list of old school relationship habits we should bring back: tell the truth.
Oh, I always tell the truth. You're not so good about that.
No, I don't think so.
And I really struggle with that.
Well, it's more like, does my ass look fat in these jeans?
And I don't ask you that question on purpose. I don't want you to lie to me.
No, right. But I mean, like, those little white lies and things like that, I think, okay, like, I don't lie about my here's the thing. I don't lie about the things I should lie about, which would help my career. I don't lie about political things. I don't lie about my political views about things. But like, it's okay to lie to the Nazis.
Oh, I would lie to the Nazis.
So there you go. So then, like, lying is okay.
I'm a liar.
There you go. You're a liar.
Yes.
But don't lie. I don't lie to you like about like how I feel about whatever it is like that's important to me, like for you and stuff like that. Like if there was some problem with like our in-laws or whatever, I would tell you that, right? I would tell you the truth. I wouldn't lie about it, right? Or try and keep it in. Number 7, apologize when you know you should. I think I'm pretty good about that. I say I'm sorry.
I mean, you don't really have to apologize for very much.
No,
you
but
don't do anything.
No, and like you apologize too much.
Oh, all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. For anybody out there watching, try to watch how often you say I'm sorry and see if you can replace sorry with like excuse me or something else. Because usually when you say I'm sorry all the time, that really shows people that you're not super confident.
Number 8, work out your relationship issues with each other, not with others. I love this one.
Absolutely.
Right?
That
Don't negatively talk about a loved one on social media.
Oh, and that again is why I would not approach. If you were emotionally cheating, I would address it with you, not with your woman. She can do whatever the heck she wants, but you are the one that is accountable to me, not her.
That's a good one.
That's right.
All right. Next on the list, number 9, be a force of positivity and encouragement. I mean, that's all you are.
Every day, all day.
Yeah, all you are is you're encouraging. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Number 10, over deliver on your promises. This is what I try and do in my business relationships. But I don't know about my personal relationships, I guess. What promises, I guess, would I have made?
Promises?
Yes. Commitment means staying devoted and keeping your promises. In other words, just don't say it, just show it. So today I promised you, I guess I didn't promise, but I've said I would help us to take down the waspy light.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we have wasps that collect in our bathroom light from our attic. We've tried spraying. It's a mess. Anyway.
Men lying, Quest Fanning says, is when they say, no, it doesn't make you look fat. Women lying say, it's your baby.
Oh. That's why I do support DNA tests at birth.
Yes.
I think that is fine. A prenup and a DNA test at birth.
Which leads us to the very last one on this list, number 11, which is be loyal. That's the one, loyal. I think we're both loyal.
We're both very, very loyal.
Yes, be loyal.
It's forever.
Remain faithful in relationships. 1,200 people watching us live to finish the show. That's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for sticking around.
Here's what I'd like to ask you a favor. If you haven't already, check out our website, ap4libertyshop.com. That's AP, the number 4. ap4libertyshop.com. Do me a favor and browse around. Would you do me a favor too and just test the custom metal signs? Go and see how easy it is to design your own custom metal sign. Head over to ap4libertyshop.com. You can get signs like the 1776 steel sign, and you can also customize your own, like our Liberty Bell monogram sign. You just click personalize and then go and do a little sneak preview of it. Visit it, check it out. We've got a bunch of amazing products over at the shop.
Everything. I mean, it's so hard to remember all the stuff. We do 3D printed stuff. Right now we're printing killdozers on our 3D printer in our house. We also have keychains that we sell, little gun keychains. I mean, we sell ornaments, so we have lots of holiday stuff. I know this is like kind of last minute holiday gift things. We have wrapping paper. I mean, pretty much anything you can imagine that's Liberty style, we have that.
Check out all the reviews. These are verified reviews of our delicious coffee. And
I was making a joke to you the other day. I was like, what else can we add? Butt plugs? Plugs that say "Don't tread on me."
And just an FYI, if you want to buy extra bags of coffee, if you buy 2, 3, 4, you see the discounts add up. 2, 3, 4 bags, you get a full 10% discount if you buy more than one. And remember, these prices that you see on our site is free delivery in the United States. So check out our coffee, try one of our custom signs, visit ap4libertyshop.com. We are a family-owned business. Wife and I, Stephanie, we run this website. We have the principles of 1776 that have never looked this good. Look at that. Ooh, government shirt.
We have a lot of pretty ladies on the site. You can find women, real libertarian women in bikinis. So Chickadee, whatever your name is, Chickadoo, who wants to see me naked, you can see some naked ladies on the website.
They're not naked.
Yeah,
just visit ap4libertyshop.com. Citizen James says he likes your program. He'll be back. Have a great weekend.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
We won some people over here.
I'm glad to hear
with
that.
Our sex appeal.
That's right. We are sexy.
Yeah.
All right. We stream the show live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. So click like and subscribe before you leave, and we'll see you on Monday. The Wake Up America Show. What do you want to say, Steffi?
As always, be free.
See you on Monday on the Wake Up America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Turn on my flashlight.
Expanse of time, a year might seem like a mere moment, but oh, what a year it's been. In September 2022, Austin and Stephanie Peterson embarked on a journey to wake up America. They began humbly, with just 20 souls tuning in, learning, listening, and though challenges arose, like the looming shadow of YouTube demonetization, their spirit never waned. And now, thanks to you, thousands rise with the sun to join them, to listen, to engage, to be a part of a community. So here's to you, and to Wake Up America, for memories shared, for friends made, for the journey ahead, and for never, ever forgetting to rise and freedom. Happy anniversary.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. Believe me, Austin Peterson is the best. He's got the greatest Wake Up America show I've ever seen. Whenever I tune in the mornings and watch the live stream, let me tell you, he has got the absolute best content. I love his guests. It's just a total blast to watch, and I highly endorse and recommend the Wake Up America show. It's terrific, believe me.
I'm a public defender.
I am a public defender.
I'm proud to be a public defender.
80% of Americans accused of a crime will get appointed a public defender.
Everybody from a speeding ticket to capital murder.
For every dollar we spend on public defenders, we spend $3 on prosecutors.
Public defenders have to do pretty much everything on their own.
Social workers, counselors.
Investigating is another piece of it.
The average public defender holds 300 cases annually.
You never feel like there's enough time.
Public defenders have health issues all the time.
A lot of people give up and say, I can't do this work anymore.
Gideon's Promise trains, mentors, and supports public defenders.
There are a lot of people who say that they would not still be public defenders, but for Gideon's Promise.
It's fueled me to continue on in this fight.
Gideon's Promise has changed the face of public defense.
People see us as troublemakers.
Good trouble only.
We don't make it easy. It should not be easy to take away someone's liberty.
Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option. Crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your Founding Flavors at apforlibertyshop.com.